Good morning. I am Jolene Philo and I would like to welcome you here to differentdream.com. Here at Different Dream headquarters, it's kind of a rainy and gloomy morning. So if during this vlog you hear some thunder or see a flash of lightning, that's why. I would just like to invite you to sit back right now. You have joined us for another episode in the vlog series where I read to you from my book, A Different Dream for My Child, Meditations for Parents Who Are Critically or Chronically Ill. And we are still in the section of the book, the first section that is about diagnosis. And today we're going to hear from friends of mine named Doug and Brenda. You're going to hear the story of how they received the diagnosis for their children, Jeff and Jessica, over a number of years. This story may resonate with you if you've had that kind of a slowly unfolding diagnosis. And I do want to mention one other thing. When I wrote this book and when Doug and Brenda received diagnoses for their children, the words mental retardation were acceptable, and so those are the words that I use because those are the words that they use. I know now developmentally delayed is more politically correct, but I think it's important for us to remember that in this case the words mental retardation are being used correctly, and so I wanted to just leave them the way that I had heard them from the storytellers. So with that, I'm going to read aloud to you. Sit back, enjoy yourself, maybe get a Kleenex in case you're a crier. You might just need one. This one is called Your Dreams Change, and the Bible verse comes from 1 Samuel 1:27-28. I prayed for this child, and God gave me what I asked for, and now I have dedicated him to God. He's dedicated to God for life. A diagnosis can come suddenly, a quick and unexpected shock, or it can come slowly after numerous visits to the doctor, long after you first suspect your child is battling something seriously wrong. But however it happens, one thing is the same for parents of really sick kids. Their dreams change. Doug and Brenda's dreams have changed often since their children were born. When Jeff was born in 1982, they didn't know he had any special medical issues, but he was very weak and he spent a month in the hospital. Doug says that at that point we didn't like it and we didn't know why it happened, but I thought, okay, I could probably get through this. As time went on, physical therapy didn't resolve Jeff's physical issues, and he was diagnosed with arthrogryposis, a genetic disorder that affects joints and muscles. Brenda says that's when their expectations for Jeff began to change. I can remember we'd always say, well, okay, Jeff can't be a football player when we found out about the physical aspect, but he'll be a doctor. Their perspective shifted again several years later when Jeff's mental retardation, a condition completely separate from the arthrogryposis, was confirmed. Doug said accepting the second diagnosis was difficult. The physical limitations you could work around. The mental limitations were much more serious. A year and a half after Jeff was born, before his retardation was evident, Doug and Brenda decided to add to their family. Doctors said they had a 1 in 4 chance of having another child with a similar physical condition. So Brenda prayed, please, God, don't let me get pregnant if anything's going to happen. When she discovered she was expecting, she thought God had honored her prayer. After all, the baby in her womb was more active than Jeff had been a few years before. Brenda describes her daughter's birth in 1984. I could see Doug when Jessica was born. I remember the look on his face. She was affected too, but I didn't know how much. Once more, their dreams changed. Even though their little girl's physical limitations were less severe than Jeff's, and her mental abilities were not affected at all. According to Doug, it's not always easy to embrace the new reality that accompanies a diagnosis. I wasn't able to experience a lot of things you'd normally expect to experience with a son. It's somewhat the same with Jessica. At times I almost feel like I've missed out on something. But from the other side of it, we've had experiences nobody else in the world will ever know unless they have a child with special needs. So there are trade-offs. Trade-offs and changes in perspective will accompany your child's diagnosis too. Over the coming days and weeks, and perhaps for the rest of your child's life, you'll discover them. Accepting these changes will take time and prayer. You'll wonder if God knows what He's doing, and you'll wonder if you can trust Him. If you decide to trust Him and cling to Him through this crisis, His plans for your child will slowly become your new dreams. That's what happened to Brenda. I pray for whatever level Jeff's at because of the mental retardation, that he will know Jesus at whatever level that is. I have to believe that God knows, and God will answer that prayer. Brenda's ultimate dream for her children is the same dream other parents have for their children, whether or not they have special needs. We all dream of being in heaven together one day with our children, whole and completely healed, praising the God who gave us and our children the gift of life. Let's pray. Father of all dreams, I am struggling to lay down my old dreams for my child and embrace new ones. Show me how to accept what is instead of clinging to what might have been. Give me new hope for my child and teach me to rejoice in it. Here are a few questions to ponder as this vlog ends. What dreams did you have for your child before this diagnosis? Which dreams are hardest to release? What new dreams do you have that will bring joy to you and your child in these difficult circumstances? If you'd like to share your thoughts or your feelings about these questions or about the whole devotion or laying down and finding new dreams for your child with special needs, I invite you to do that. There's a comment box at the end of this page, and I love to hear from different dream readers. So I'd love to hear your story, and I promise that if you leave a comment, I will respond. That said, have a great day. Bye-bye.